Well, good day and welcome to another edition of the Grantley Show. We are live and I am extremely excited about my guest that I'm going to be speaking to for at least the next 30 minutes or so. He is well known in the UK gospel scene and outside those borders. He is an extremely talented artist that has done so much over the years. And it behooves me how he's not recognized more for his achievements, for the things that he's done. A lot of you are wondering who it is that I'm going to be speaking to. I shall suspend you no longer. I'm speaking to the one and only Jerry Brown. Jerry, how are you?
Yes, sir. How we doing, man?
I'm pretty good. And yourself? You good?
I'm really well, Lee.
Nice.
It's good
Jerry,
to see you, man. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. In fact,
Yeah.
I was just, as we say that, I remember the last time I saw you was in South East London at a good
That's
friend
right.
of ours' birthday party.
Tito and Nikki's.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like a joint celebration. I know they were
Yeah.
celebrating anniversary
of their wedding.
as well as
I know I said birthday, but I meant anniversary of their wedding.
It was
They've done a lot of years together, and it was great seeing you there, Jerry.
Yeah,
I remember at that time, I actually spoke to you about this program.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And for the listeners and the people that are viewing at the moment,
Okay.
a little bit of backdrop. So over the years, I've done lots of interviews with lots of different artists and, you know, that kind of thing. And I thought to myself, it's about time I flip the script up a little bit and do some interviews with people that are artists, but not exactly like upfront singers. So for yourself, Jerry, you're known for being one of the A1 drummers in the world.
Wow.
In my book, right?
Man.
And if we were to start naming names of people that you worked with, that would kind of like solidify what I've just said.
Okay.
Right. And we'll get to that a little bit later on.
No worries.
But for now, Jerry Brown, I want to speak to you about the beginnings, the early days, you know.
Right.
Let's give some people some, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be like, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back a bit. Not exactly like in nappies or anything like that, but the early days, yeah.
So
first of all,
yes, ma'am.
Where was you born?
So I was born East London. Plaistow in Newham Hospital.
Plaistow.
Plaistow.
Okay.
And so if people, I suppose many people will know, but if people don't know, then just giving an insight to this, that my older brother is Nicky Brown.
Okay.
So that's my older brother, Nicky, and my nephew, Nicky's son, is Matty Brown.
All right.
So, and then my mum, we have the old school veterans in the gospel church, the church arena. Then everybody would know my mum to be, she's now Mother Janet Brown. So, and so I do come from a line of people that have trailblazed. And then obviously my grandfather was one of the first, or if the first, senior deacons in this country concerning the Churches of God in Christ. So that is Deacon Deacon Edwards, Deacon Eugene Edwards. So we come from a real rich British Caribbean gospel heritage.
And would it be fair to say, Jerry, that like from day one, it was all about church. You grew up in church.
Nothing more, nothing less.
That's it. Just church from the off.
Church, church.
That's
All right. So
all you
let me
know.
let me walk you through. Right.
All right.
Monday, prayer meeting.
All right.
Tuesday, choir practice.
Yeah.
Wednesday, midweek service.
All
All
right.
right. So that was around the back hall. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thursday, Walthamstow meeting.
Okay.
All right. So that was my father-in-law's location
All
in
right.
Walthamstow. All right. And we'll get to that. Friday, YP.
Friday.
Saturday, yeah, that would be a regional service. It would be a rally service somewhere. It would be some type of service with us going to a different location in the
Yeah.
UK.
Okay.
And then you got Sunday, which is Sunday school. You have healing service in the morning. Then you have the first service, which will run for about 3 hours. Then I'll either go back to my granddad's for Sunday dinner,
Yeah.
or somebody in the life of church.
Yeah.
Then you come back for night service, and then you start on Monday
And
again.
that's like 7 days. It's just church.
Solid.
So when are we talking? Are we saying 70s, 80s, 90s? When are we talking?
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Early 80s. Okay.
Early 80s. Yeah.
Jerry, the first time I came across you was Brixton Ruach Church, Bishop
Wow.
John
Okay.
Francis. That's the first time I came across you guys.
Was that when he was recording the album, the live album?
No, I'm just talking like, so you had Nicky, you had Luke Smith, you had Freddie, musicians at church. Was you part of that setup?
So,
did I miss that one?
No. The reason why I asked is, if you're talking about those guys,
yes,
that would have been when Bishop did Welcome Into This Place.
Okay.
And that was the Ruach live recording.
Okay.
So I know I did that record.
You was on that?
Which was that was a night that we
Okay.
did.
Let me ask this question, because I want to solidify everything.
Mm-hmm.
When was the first time that you took an interest in playing drums?
All right.
Can you kind of like just rewind the clock a little bit? Was you banging on the table at school? How did it happen for you?
Yeah, the whole thing. So as quickly as I can, just to let you know that we came from a big, rich musical background. So you still have family members of mine that are still in the music industry, or cousins of mine, i.e. even my dad. All right. So I don't know if Nicky shared this, if he's ever been on the show, but
now Nicky will be with me on Monday.
Oh, is he coming to you on Monday?
Yeah,
so he
Monday.
might even touch on this, right? And what I don't share, he'll finish up. But again, my grandfather, he lived in Stoke Newington, on Benthall Road, which was a 3-story house. Okay. And he had that house when he came over. He was able to purchase a house, but the house was massive. And in the basement was where that was where the first band concerning a Kojic church band took place. That's where it was birthed, and that was my dad's band. So this band is called the Overcomers. Right. So the Overcomers were a band that they had a record deal. If you go on YouTube, you'll find the song, the single on YouTube. Okay. And if you go to Viv Broughton's book, when he writes about the history of gospel music from the UK, you'll see my dad's band in there as well. So they were the Overcomers. All right. So Nick can break it down a little bit more. But out of that, okay, and if you can imagine a teenager, somebody sitting under that band, then that's where you would have the likes of Basil Mead. So Basil Mead was a family friend. He was in his teens, and he would sit under the mentorship of my dad's band, which was the Overcomers. Wow. So can you understand where we're coming from?
Yes.
Right? So this is a long line of what was happening. So my Uncle Jimmy, he was the first drummer in our family. So
Okay.
that was the first time I ever saw a drum kit was in my granddad's basement,
Right. So
but it
Uncle
was where
Jimmy
they
was
we used
kind
to
of like a
rehearse.
mentor in some ways, I would imagine.
He's the one that he was really he's the one that we saw, and he was the drummer in my dad's band. So when it came to instrumentation, you had Uncle Sheddy, who was the keyboard player. If many know or know about Sheddy, he was one of the pioneers that would trailblaze when it comes to Shiloh in the Shiloh Church in Dalston.
Okay.
Uncle Sheddy was a part of Shiloh. You on the guitar you had, and the reason why you would know about Uncle Basil is because Uncle Errol Mead was the guitarist in my dad's band.
Okay.
So you had so there was so you had a big history of a lot of musicians around that time coming together, and they would play. What they did was quite historic because we're on groundbreaking.
Okay.
But Nikki can break that down. So to answer your question, Uncle Jimmy was the first person that we saw, and then out of that, he was the one that really pushed us and allowed us. So Nikki was doing stuff and playing drums at a young age. The first time I started to play drums was or percussion in church. I was about 7, 8 years old,
All right. So you say
and that's where it
percussion. So
started.
you don't just
Yeah, I
play
started as
drums,
percussion.
but you
No, yeah,
percussions as well, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
and and if I remember rightly, you do pull on the old 5, 6 string bass, right, as well?
Yeah, so Freddie Thompson taught me how to play bass.
Did he really?
So yeah,
I'm going to be
yeah,
speaking to Freddie at some point because, like I
yeah.
said, I've got this list, and
Hmm.
Freddie's on the list as well. So I'm going to be coming
Yeah,
to Freddie. All
yeah.
right.
Fred taught me how to play. So my uncle Rocky had a bass guitar in his church,
Yes.
and maybe around the age of 9 and 10, because as I said, my family, my cousins, we're all in the music industry, and my cousin Glenn Scott, who lives in Sweden now, he's a great music producer and writer. And he's made a lot of records, and he's done amazingly well in his career as well. So we had a little band coming up when we were young. He would play on the organ, I would play on bass, my other cousin Martin would play drums. So I was playing bass. But then when I really got into it, studying the art, and obviously just the instrument itself, it was Freddie that really pushed me forward and gave me all the resources I needed in order for me to learn how to play
Yeah. Yeah.
bass. So yeah,
You are a phenomenal drummer, Jerry. You
thank
really
you.
are. And many a
Yeah.
time I've seen you playing drums live. I've seen you on TV. I've seen you
Cool.
do a bunch of stuff. Okay.
Mm, mm.
Um, just give us, just give our viewers a little indication of some of the names, some of the people that you played with. Whether it's gospel
Okay.
or secular. Give us, just throw out some names, some tours and stuff like that.
All right. Well, I think the first one is Mickey had to go to Los Angeles to finish a record for Earth, Wind and Fire. So I had to cover for him, and that was with Bishop Francis when he had the Inspirational Gospel Choir,
Yep.
and they were supporting Gloria Gaynor, but it
Okay.
was one band. It was one band. So Steve Thompson, who
Okay.
is a master himself, and we've known Steve to do stuff with Graham Kendricks. He was the one that really crossed over. Noel, those guys. So Steve was MD for Gloria Gaynor, and I think that when Nikki left, I think Fred covered the MD spot, and I did half of the tour. So I was at Islington Sixth Form Centre,
Yep.
and left um, I left my course, asked my teachers if I could go, and I didn't wait for their approval. I just went and then
You
came
just went
back.
anyway. It was just like,
I went.
I'm off.
I went and came back.
I'm
Went
off.
came
I'll
back
see you
to
later.
school. Yeah. I'm off, man. But it was a music school course that I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
So it was music theory and IT. So
Yeah.
they were able to give me the time off. I did the dates, came back. So that was the first one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was around 17. And then I'm just trying to look at my,
17 with Gloria Gaynor.
yeah, man.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
All right, go on.
Yeah.
Whiz through the list for me. Whiz through the list.
Um, on my so I've worked with um, I think one of the first couple of tours that I did with the choir. We did some stuff with Nina Simone. Then I went on to do stuff throughout my career with the likes of
Did you say Nina Simone?
yeah,
My
yeah,
baby don't
yeah,
care for shows.
yeah, man.
That Nina Simone.
Yeah, Bishop Francis has been on the stage with some big people, but
All
you
right.
just wouldn't, you just wouldn't say it. But I remember that show. Um, who else? I've done some TV work with Tom Jones.
Okay.
Sang on an album with Harry Connick Jr. Played some shows with Paul Weller. With along it that was a part of Deep Purple's charity gala.
Okay.
So played with those guys. Played with Joe Bonamassa, should I say? With the Orion Symphony Orchestra as well.
All right.
Did some stuff with Julian Joseph, and
Yeah.
that was with the London Philharmonic Orchestra. No, sorry, that was with the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra. Did some other work with the London Philharmonic as well. Kingdom Choir, as we all
Yeah.
know, played on their
Karen
first record.
Gibson. Uh-huh.
Karen Gibson, Courtney Pine,
The great
played
Courtney
some,
Pine.
yeah, played on a record with Jessica Simpson,
All
American
right.
Lady, did some TV tours with Tina Turner,
All right.
played for Sam Moore on his own stuff and some stuff with the Community Gospel Choir. That live record, I think Paul Carrot was on that.
Okay.
Um, uh, um, no, I've done some stuff with Jocelyn Brown, but I think um, the I can't remember her name. Oh God, but she was on there. Paul Carrick. There was some other people on there. Did I say Julian Joseph? Who else? I've recently been the last kind of big poppy things I did before I started working for church was Natalie Imbruglia. I played with Girls Aloud. That was I was with them for a long time. Played with Will Young. Did a lot of stuff with him. And then there were just some other different bands. Jimmy Somerville, he was an old one. And People did some tours with and People.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of before the poppy stuff, did a season where I worked with Carleen Anderson, the Young
Okay.
Disciples,
Yeah.
Brand New Heavies.
All right.
Yeah, just did a whole load of stuff with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so worked with quite a few different producers that would come into the country as well.
Okay. People like who?
So at the time there was a lot of remixes that was going on.
Yeah.
So um, especially with Femi Fem, which was fantastic. We did a lot of stuff for D'Angelo.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stuff for my mind's gone blank. Um, oh
I
God,
know what it's like when your mind goes blank, Joe.
yeah,
So don't worry
yeah.
about it too
There
much.
was a ton of different stuff that we did
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
era,
What I
which
want, what I
was
wanted to
pretty
do,
great.
Jerry, was just to solidify what I said about you being A1. You've worked with some
Oh
great
wow,
names. You've just reeled off a
yeah,
big bunch.
yeah,
Over the years, and because of this body of work that you've done, you
yeah,
have really been iconic in mentoring, whether you realize it or not. But there's a great drummer that's out there that I'm hoping that I'm going to get a chance to sit down and talk to, who goes under the name of Josh McKenzie.
Oh, Mackenzie, yeah, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Now, when I speak to Josh, he will definitely say it was Jerry.
Uh, uh, yeah,
Yeah. Because when I
yeah,
when I look at in fact, Jerry, when I look at Josh playing,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
like I'm
yeah,
looking at a young version of Jerry Brown.
yeah. Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you
And
know,
I love that he doesn't deny that. And I think for the musician that he is and the family that he's come from,
yes,
concerning even his grandfather, is it's an amazing family. Do you know? when you just look at his cousins, his sisters, his
Yeah.
brother, that I had opportunity to work for as well. I think I was covering Josh at one time. So, I mean, the family, it's just a rich, rich,
Yeah,
rich
so it's
family,
similar to the Browns,
amazing
really,
talent.
isn't it? Quite
Yeah,
similar to the Browns. Didn't
yeah,
Josh go through a period of time where he, in the early days, he used to like set up your kit and everything like that?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
when we were doing some shows with Helen Baylor, he came and hanged out with me there. Um, there's been a few when I was on the road with Louise Redknapp, when I was on tour with Freddie and Howard Francis. We did a long run with Louise. He jumped on the bus, spent a few days with me there, and then I think when it came to the first gig that he did, yeah, as you do, you just
Yeah.
want to make sure that he's equipped and that he's ready to go. So I remember he asked me about some drum companies. I just wanted to make sure that what he was using was the right gear for what he was doing. I think it was Daniel Benefield when he started that was one of
Okay.
his first gigs, and he was really young when he was doing that. But I remember I think I went to the Guildford show,
Yeah.
and I kid you not, Grant, Mr. Grant, I kid you not, right? When I left that theater, it's now G Live now, but it was the Guildford like hall or something. It was before they built G Live. And that night, those guys played so hard
Mm,
that watching them, I was out of
yeah.
breath.
It was a joy.
That's like when I
It was a
watch my
joy.
nephew. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like when I watch my nephew play when he's out
Yeah.
on the road and he's playing.
Yeah.
I'm just out of breath watching those guys
Yeah.
because the energy and the power and the passion
Yeah.
is just next level. But I
Unbelievable.
realized that was my energy and passion when I had the energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would always come with a Christ compassion on every project I played on.
Yeah.
So it's like if you really want to cascade that same passion and heart
Yeah.
and enthusiasm, momentum, so that those guys would build healthy momentum. I see that I could see my younger self when I would watch those guys, and
And is there
it's a
anyone
joy
else? I
to
know
it's a
there
joy
was
to see.
Josh, but just in case I missed anything, was there anybody else
Yeah.
that kind of followed in your footsteps?
So speaking to a great friend of mine, Tony Williams,
Yeah.
um, what he did say to me is, what you have to remember, Jerry, is that there are a lot of people that look up to you, and most of them, the majority of those drummers, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and
So
that's fine.
there's lives that you've touched over the years,
Yeah,
and
and my
there's a lot of
heart,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of people.
and yeah, and my heart is that they would be greater than me. That they would go higher than I went. That
Greater
they would do
exploits.
greater
Yeah.
exploits. That they would be, whatever I've done to set the table. That they would take that to the whole. They would take it to the next level and do, you know, double, treble, than I did.
I
That
got you.
that would be my real. That would be my prayer in my heart.
Yeah,
That
because
people would definitely.
it's good to kind of like just glance over your shoulder a little bit and just say, you know what, there's
Yeah.
my legacy right there.
Yeah. I mean, even like taking my nephew to the tours that I used to do some of my shows, and he would be like, I remember when I was on tour with Jamelia when she did the Thank You tour. And yeah, my dad picked him up and took him there. So I remember, I think I went to see him when he played at Shepherd's Bush because he wanted to um, he wanted to remind me, Onks, this is where I saw you when you played at Jamelia, and I'm here now.
Yeah,
And that was a great moment. I think the first time I actually took him on tour with me, it was a London date. I was playing for a pop band, and he was about 4 years old. So I went back to see him, and he was there with Ellie Goulding, and he was like, "Onks, you got to come again
nice.
because I remember when you took me here when I was 4 years old."
Yeah,
So it's just real. It's just such a warming. Me and Nikki were there that night, and it's just a real warm thankful sensation when you see, especially your family just do what you do, but they just do it on a whole completely
Yeah,
different level.
yeah.
And he's killing the game right now.
One
So
of the
I'm
things
very
that I
proud of
love
him.
about you, Jerry, is that you remember where you come from, and you're still willing
Yeah,
to team up with people like Luke Smith.
yeah.
Um, you know,
That's that's
um,
that's like we're family, because if people didn't know, like, and I'm sure Noel doesn't mind us saying that, but when we got together to do the album, I can't remember what album did I do. Noel's gonna kill me, Um, he's gonna kill me. Worthy in This Place. Sorry, Worthy in This Place. When we did Worthy in This Place, there's a lot of stories that are associated to that record that people would never know. So when it comes to just us leaning in, just to
yeah,
push that album out so that we can get it done. I did that with Michael Brown. I did that with Luke Smith. I did that, with Noel. So we have history together, and because of that, we're just like family. So
yeah.
they're my friends. Like, they will do anything for me, and I would do anything for them.
As
It
you
just
as
goes
you
beyond. It
as
goes
you
beyond music.
mentioned, right? You mentioned about family just there, right?
Mm,
Your family's steep in music history.
mm, yeah,
Going way back to your father, and you got loads of uncles and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So there's a gentleman that's watching at the moment,
Okay.
and in just a moment I'm going to put his comment up on screen. But he actually reckons, and
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's got any reason to tell porcupines, but
Okay.
he actually says this. He says that Tony Williams is my cousin.
And what's his name? Who is this guy?
So that's Dr. Hugh Jackman, Dr. Hugh Alexander Jackman.
Fine.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
is great. I love the fact, because it's a small world that we live in, right, Jerry?
Okay.
It's a
Mm,
small world. It's a small world.
all right.
So
Cool.
thank you, Mr. Jackman, for
Mm.
giving us some insight there. But yeah,
And
most people do
and
know Tony Williams. He's a
yeah,
great artist.
and may I just put context to
Okay.
the Tony Williams that we're talking about? So we have an amazing jazz drummer who is a legend who has passed away, and that is the great Tony Williams, who used to play with Miles Davis. And that's the American Tony Williams. Tony Williams I'm talking about
Yes.
is the one that is a bass player, and everybody knows him to be a bass player, and had a great history with the London Community Gospel Choir.
All right. Let me say
And
this. Let me say this then.
and yeah, and Tony is the one that plays bass, and now he's in management, he's in production, he's in promotions.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's the guy that I'm talking
All right.
about.
So
So
Mr.
there are two
Jackman,
Tony Williams.
let me just say this then. So
Yeah.
Mr. Jackman, is it the Tony Williams that plays bass? That's your cousin?
Yeah.
Let me know. Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So moving on. Most
Yes.
embarrassing moments, Jerry. Every one of
Yeah.
us has an embarrassing moment. When you've been playing, have you ever broken your drumsticks, or they're falling out of your hands and you couldn't retrieve them? Tell us about a story where you were
Oh,
like, "Oh my God, did that really happen?"
yeah. Well, to be fair, when I used to break a drumstick, for me it was all part of the performance. It was all part of the show. For me, to break a stick in mid flow was like, oh my God, I'm just killing this, man. This is like amazing. So to like break a stick and then try and find another one, and everybody knows I have more than one drumstick bag. And with the company that I play drums for, they would just send me,
A ton.
peers and
You
peers
get a
of sticks.
ton
So I would have sticks all around me.
all around
So
you.
for me to be just playing and breaking sticks and stuff, it was all a part of the wow factor.
Yeah. Let me ask you this
Um,
question, because as you
yeah,
brought it up, I thought, let me
yeah,
just answer it. So over the years, I would
yeah,
imagine that you've been sponsored by a lot of companies.
yeah,
Give us
yeah.
some of the names, just like maybe 3 or 4 names.
Do you want me to show one of
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
motorbikes right
Show
there?
us what's going on behind you.
So I'm in my church office, but just so that you're aware, this one here,
Yep.
this is one of the drum kits that I have. This here is just my studio desk, but this bad boy here that's just a part of it. That one was you would have guys that would they would have signature snare drums,
Yes.
but that is an actual signature drum kit that was specifically made just for me. So there's only one of a kind, and that was made by Pearl Drums. So I've
Pearl,
been
did
with
you
Pearl
say
Drums for
Pearl?
a long Pearl Drums, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been with Pearl Drums for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. Now I got the recommendation from the great Vero Bailey, who,
Ah,
when he went on tour with Simply Red, he got signed to Pearl, and then through the artist, the person that was artist relations at the time, Vero introduced me to Simon Jays, who heads the London Drum Company, but at the time he was a rep for Pearl Drums, and it was Vero that said you need to be introduced to this guy, and I think it was another longtime friend, guitarist Andrew Smith.
I know Andrew.
He said, all right, he said, let's go down to Milton Keynes. We went down to Milton Keynes for the day. At the time, I was just waiting for a few things to come around. So he said, look, let's just go out to lunch. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what you do. So obviously I told him what I did,
Yep.
and, who I was working with at the time. I think he gave me a few things and then said, look, when you're ready, come back to me and then we can take it from there. And that's how it started. And I think the first tour that I did, they didn't give me a drum kit. They loaned me a drum kit.
Right.
So I think I grabbed some bits, and then I think I grabbed a set of cymbals from Zildjian, and I was playing Pearl drumsticks at the time. I wasn't playing Vic Firth drumsticks.
Okay.
And then as things began to progress, and I realized that I was probably doing 2 or 3 things at the same time.
Okay.
They wanted me to sign, and then
I would imagine that these companies they keep an eye on certain people like yourself, and when they see you getting busy working with certain names, they want to make sure that their instruments are in your hands, right?
Yeah. But the key for me was I already had a drum kit. So I think and it wasn't about me trying to get free products. I think it was me working. That was the key.
Yeah.
So if you work hard, everything else will come.
It would just come to you anyway.
It will come to you.
They would just beat a path to your door. How many drum kits do you have? How many drum kits have you owned, Jerry? Rough figure. How many drum kits?
So I've given away one. I gave away one last year. I'm giving away another one this year. I think I'm going to give away 2 this year. But there are 2 that are stored. Everybody knows the great Dave Daniels and the Daniels family. So there's 2 that's Nicky's People Get Ready drum kit is with them, and there is another drum kit that the first one they made for me. That's with the Daniels. Shout out to Mum and Dad Daniels. And then I have this one here. There's one downstairs that when my nephew does these drum industry day, we're going to give that one away to a young drummer. And then there's another black one here, which I think I'm going to give to my church.
So that's about 6 or 7 so far.
Yeah, and I've had a few others in the past, but I'm realizing at this where I'm at in my season now.
Yeah,
I try to give away the kit the big kit that is at the Daniels. I tried to give that to 2 people. I think when my nephew was playing with Plan B, and I think he was doing another gig, he had that drum kit. Then he signed to a new company, gave that one back to me.
Okay,
so cool. I hold that one. I played a lot of records with Nicky's People Get Ready drum kit. So
now you talk about the season that you're in, Jerry. The season that you're in right now, you're still keeping busy, relatively busy and stuff like that. But you've also some years ago you started doing like your YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah,
Tell us,
yeah.
tell us, tell the viewers about your YouTube channel. What's it called? What do you get up
So
to?
my so it that's really the channel is it belongs to me and my dear wife. So we called it What Next, and we put that together in the lockdown. Um, we haven't really done that much, but I've just done some content, and I know the reason why we're even hanging out tonight is that I've recently put some content out, but I recorded that content with my best friend. All of my content that I recorded with my best friend, and his name is Sheehan Roberts.
Sheehan Roberts.
Sheehan Roberts from Tehillah.
Big
Yeah.
up yourself, Tahila. Sheehan
Yes.
Roberts.
Yeah, that's
The
my
man's
guy.
a
We met.
genius.
Yeah, we met in church together at 4 years old. We met at Northumberland Park at 4 years old, and we have just been at the hip ever since. And he does all of my recordings. So if you see anything that I do, it's directed and produced by
Yeah.
Sheehan. And now we
You're
have
in safe
creative
hands.
director. Yeah, now we
You're
have a
in safe
creative
hands.
director, which
Yeah.
is my nephew. He does all
Okay.
of the, you know,
Tell me your
and then
nephew's name
again,
again.
you'll always see Nikki and Freddie, and
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah,
Family. Family.
family, yeah. Just keeping it simple.
Talking about family, I've met your wife. I've met your daughter.
Yes,
I played
yeah,
at her christening years ago.
yes, you did. Yes,
Did you have
yes,
more children, Jerry?
yes. So now, that was my first, right? That was Hallie. Hallie's 24 now.
My goodness.
She's 24. I know, I know. So we have Benaiah. He's 18 years old, and we have Tiana. She's 17 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more
So,
coming?
bro, I've got the stripes, man. I've got the stripes. I don't need to go there again.
All right.
And I've told Hallie that myself and your mum, we are enjoying this season where we are getting to know one another again.
Again.
So, a couple of years back, we were able to go on holiday after 18 years.
Wow.
I took her to the Dominion, Republic. What do you call it? The DM or the DR.
The DR. The DR.
Yeah. I took her to the DR, and we celebrated that would have been our 25th anniversary.
Nice one.
Nice
one.
So
do send my love to her. Do send my love to her. So
oh yeah, she's great.
Any of the children following in that musical journey?
Yeah, Hallie is an amazing artist, writer, and she now has studied. So she started at Brit School. She left school, started at Brit School.
Okay.
Then joined. What do you call it now? NYT, National Youth Theatre.
Okay.
That was a big thing for her to get into NYT.
Wow.
And what was great was when we went to see her perform, it was quite amazing to see so many of the leading actors in our day.
Yeah.
All of the kids in NYT were children of all of the great actors. So I saw like actors from Coronation Street, actors that were like, in the theatre game, just like, trailblazers, like prominent actors. They were all there that day. So it was great to see my daughter hanging out with the likes of those people. And then she moved from there, went to Brit School. When she went to Brit School, and she went to an academy called or a university called Artshead, which is in Chiswick. So that is like there's thousands of people that try and get in, and there's 50 spaces, and she was one of the 50. She got in there, and she did amazing.
God is so good. God is so good. So,
and her first production was at the National. Yeah.
My
so
goodness.
she did the Crucible. That was her first
at the Crucible.
at the National.
You guys must be so proud. Proud parents.
Amazing. She works hard. She's now at the Unicorn Theatre in London Bridge. There's a production that she's doing right now. And then she moves on to another production, but she's been doing very, very well. And she's a great, she works hard, even when she doesn't have a gig, like just when it comes to her auditions. You know, she has a great agent, and anybody would know if you have a daughter or a child that is an actor, a lot of time that they would be they'll be doing a lot of auditions, and it's a hard slog, but she
It
endures
certainly
really
is.
well.
It certainly
Yeah,
is.
she endures well.
So
Yeah, so
proud
she's great.
parents.
Yeah.
So all that being said,
Yes, sir.
what's next on the plate for Jerry Brown?
Well,
What are you
I'm
getting
in the
excited
season.
about, Jerry?
Well, I'm actually excited right now because I'm in the season of shepherding. So I um, 50 it would be 15 years this year that I went on church staff. I've been a staff member at my local church, Hillsong UK, and from 2017, the lead pastor at the time asked me to help plant. He had a vision to plant a location in the north of London, and he asked me if I could pastor that location under his leadership. And yeah,
What
lots of
was that
different things that have
experience
taken
like, Jerry?
place.
Because I remember
Yeah,
when I heard that you became a pastor for Hillsongs, and I was like,
yeah, yeah,
wow,
yeah, man.
I am so happy.
Yeah,
And I sort of thought to myself, I wonder what it was like for Jerry to be asked. And did
yeah,
he accept openly, or did he say, "Let me think about that for a minute"? What was it
yeah,
like?
yeah. I think when I got asked to become a staff member, so um, it's quite interesting how I came in, because when they asked me, they just knew that it was my pastor at the time. He just knew that it was a God thing. I knew it was a God thing, but if you would ask me the question, was you excited? You know, was you ready for it? You know, did you believe that it was the right thing? Absolutely. But was I ready? No. And was I excited? No. But I knew from being at those meetings as a kid, being at church every night, people were praying for me. People were laying their hands upon me. People were
Yeah,
prophesying and claiming, you know, that I would be someone that the Lord would use. So did I know it was going to come? Yes. So I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, it's something that I was always running away from, because I know what it takes to surrender to the will of God, and
yeah,
what it takes to be a shepherd.
yeah,
So, and I think I've learned, and God will always give you a heart for what He's called you for.
yeah,
So I think from that sense, um, learning to lean on Jesus,
yeah,
and now having an overwhelming peace concerning trusting in the Lord when it's the right time to move, when it's the right time to say yes, when it's the right time to say no. Oh my God, what an incredible peace to know that there have been so many different seasons in this journey where I've been asked to do things that are amazing, Lee, like great opportunities.
yeah,
And I've pressed the button on the laptop to confirm that I would be at the session, or I would be doing that particular show. And the weight on the inside, where the Holy Spirit's like, look, you can do it. I'm not forcing you, you know, to do anything. Yeah, you've got to surrender to this. But we did agree that you'd listen. And for me, I think what's been absolutely amazing is to be a witness in the music industry, to let people know this is who I am. My identity is not found in what I do, but in who Christ is. And being able to share, I think some of the most powerful conversations, some of the most powerful times of ministry has never been when I'm holding a microphone and being on a platform, but it's sitting down at a coffee table, or having lunch or breakfast with somebody that's going through
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and seeing the power of God, seeing godly wisdom come alive, where I
yeah,
know this is not me talking. This
yeah.
is God doing
This is
something,
God all by
and
himself.
seeing God all by himself being used, and seeing God transform like never before.
Yeah.
and even God just giving me just snippets of, what He wants to do in my life, and just
Yeah.
giving me a glimpse of, you know, this, just hold this, because I'm about to do something amazing. And for me, I think I'm learning and I'm breathing in this season of endurance. Yeah. Because it's just about being faithful. It's just
Yeah.
about rocking up. And I don't feel like I know everything. I don't feel like I'm just a faithful shepherd. I'm a faithful leader. I do my best to remain faithful and endure. I think that's the most, if anybody asks me, what is it all about? It's just about being faithful to open those doors 7:30 every Sunday morning, and it's to endure.
I
When
was
I don't
gonna, I was
feel
gonna,
like,
I was gonna say to you, Jerry, tell us a little bit more. So so church, is
mm,
it like the old days where it's 7 days a week, or is it just Sunday and Wednesday?
yeah,
Whereabouts is the
well,
church? I know you said North London, but like,
yeah,
here's your chance.
yeah.
Tell people how they can
So
come and hear service on a Sunday.
yeah, man. All right. Well, so everybody will remember Pastor Ramson Mumba,
Yes.
Abundant Life,
Yeah.
and the Hippodrome. That's where I am right now. That's
Okay.
where I am right now. So literally, I'm at Golders Green at the Hippodrome, and this is where we have service. And
Okay.
could can
Nice
can you
location.
imagine? Can you imagine, Lee, when I know there have been some great moments here with Pastor Ramson. I feel like he's still an amazing man of God. I know that he's in America now, and I know there are many people that have experienced some great services here. And when he was in London, he was doing some amazing things. Unfortunately, he moved to the States, and I know that there was some things that needed to take place. So the building was sold. When it was sold to and it turned into a mosque. Can you believe that? It turned into a
To a
mosque.
mosque. All right.
So that was interesting. And then literally once this place was run down, our former pastor, he was looking for some buildings, and this was on the market. And then I know throughout the lockdown, he was able to kind of start the ball rolling. And then I think when our now lead pastors, they made sure that we got this over the line. So, and it just so happens to be in North London. So where I was, which is at Bernie Grant Arts Centre, the North location moved here,
Yes.
and we've been here ever since. And it is absolutely amazingly
A great
like
building. Great building. How many
church
people do
is
you
something
guys sit?
else.
How many people do you guys sit on? Just like when it's capacity.
So there is two balconies. The second balcony, which is the upper balcony, is still in renovations.
Yep.
We've just finished the first balcony, which holds 500 plus. Downstairs holds, there's just seating. We can have, we're able to. So our New Year's service, we was at capacity, and that was 1,125 people.
Nice.
And and on Sundays now, I do two services. I do one at 10 a.m. and one at 12:30, and the total is I'm doing 1,045.
Okay.
Yeah, over two services. So we still have a lot of work to do.
Okay, I
Um,
understand.
we still
But
have a lot of
I'm
work
just
to do.
thinking, like,
You know.
if I need a church to do like some concerts and stuff, I can
Yeah. So here's the
just
thing,
messing with you.
and this is where they've graced me,
Yeah.
is that we have a completely different department in the church that deals with bookings
Okay.
when it comes to the external events, so that
I,
they can just allow me to concentrate on the sheep.
I've got a funny sense
So
of humour, Jerry. Don't take me so serious. All right. So listen, it's Jerry. I really do appreciate. I know how busy you can get. So
yeah,
to spend this amount of time with you is
yeah,
amazing. And
that's cool. It's great.
I know church life is like the main source for you right now,
Yeah, I
which
love
is
it.
good.
Worship team are rehearsing downstairs as we speak. There's
Okay.
worship team rehearsal. So yeah, I'm still
God
here.
is pouring in, and
Yeah.
giving you new incentives in terms of, you know, pastoring and shepherding, and you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
I love it, man. I
I
love it.
love that about you, and you still find time to, you know, jump
Yeah.
in
To
on the
hit the
odd
skins.
projects with the
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Mm.
All the best with the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You did get my attention. You
Okay.
really
So
did.
so I just want to let everybody know, right,
Yeah.
that when it comes to the YouTube channel, is not there won't be consistent content yet because my heart, passion, and energy is building the house of God. I'm working on things, but it's very, very wide and far between. I think what I've been encouraged is just to have conversations with people right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and see how that works within the
You
rhythm
know what would be
of,
really nice, Jerry?
you know,
Because you
yeah,
did mention it was you and wifey,
yes.
but I haven't seen her on did I
I
miss
know.
something?
There's one. I think it was one of the first ones we did when I kind of told everybody what we were going to be doing,
Right.
and she was with me. But yeah, I feel like it would be great for us to probably
Yeah.
have some
Bring her on.
conversations.
Bring her
Yeah,
on.
it'd be lovely.
Tell us to
Yeah, yeah, it'd be
tell us
lovely.
to come on board.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Listen. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. And
Much love, bro.
you
Much
know,
love.
I just pray that God will continue to open doors that no man can close,
Come on, come on.
and you know, just indicate to you when you're not supposed to go through a certain door.
That's right.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
want to
That's
be going through
important.
doors that ain't my door,
Yeah.
man. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah. So
thank you so much,
yeah.
Jerry. I really do appreciate you.
Much lovely, much love, man.
Yeah.
Much love.
Keep doing what you're
And
doing.
thank you for the invite, man. This is I know you've been doing this for a long time. I remember going to see you. I think that's when Tito was producing for you, and it was
Yes.
Nikki's birthday. Nikki's birthday's on Christmas Day. And I remember myself, Shane, and Nikki going to do a show with you on Christmas morning. And
Ah.
I know I remember that was the days, man. That was the good old days.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I just praying, thank God for you, man, and just believing greater, bigger, more blessings, more opportunities. And yeah, man, grateful for you, Lee. Grateful.
We give God thanks. Thank
Yes,
you
my
very
brother.
much, Jerry.
No problem.
God bless you. So,
Much love.
my guest on today's program, the one and only Jerry Brown, as you just saw, doing some great things. Thank you for stopping by. Do share the channel with all of your friends. We're moving away from the Straight Up TV channel on YouTube, and we've just started this new channel called The Grantley Show on YouTube and on Facebook. So do reach out to those channels if you can. For now, thank you so much for being with us. Until next week. In fact, Monday I will be speaking to Jerry's brother Nicky. So do come on and you know, keep us company on that one as well. For now, God bless you. Thank you for stopping by.